Right, girls, just some mixed questions on coordinate geometry and everything we've learnt so far. So, pause the video here and give these questions a go, and I'm going to go through them. So pause now. Right, so I'm going to show you the answers first, and I'm going to go through them one by one. And mark your work. If you've got these right, well done. It's good to practice these different types of questions because they're worded and you need to understand them, but you do have the skills to do this. So, do the lines intersect? So if you think about any kind of lines, the only lines that will intersect are ones that aren't parallel, because parallel lines are the type of lines that never meet. So as long as they're not parallel, then they will meet eventually at some point. So obviously here you divide this by 2 to get the gradient of 1.5, and here you just find the gradient of that line, and you can use those skills. The midpoint you should be very good at. Now if you find distance, obviously you just use Pythagoras theorem, and we have done length of line segment, so hopefully you would understand that one. So when two lines intersect, so imagine that's y equals 2x plus 1, and that's y equals 4x minus 3. When they intersect, and you do need to really know that, is when these two lines equal each other. So you just form an equation of 4x minus 3 equals 2x plus 1, and just solve for x. So once you get x equals 2, substitute that into any equation, and this one's easier. So when x equals 2, 2 times 2 plus 1 equals 5, so that makes the y coordinate 5, and that x coordinate 2. Find the gradient of this line, so you just rearrange it. Be careful here, so it's up to you what you do, but I would probably plus 4y on both sides to get 3x equals 12 plus 4y, then minus the 12 on both sides, so you get 3x minus 12 equals 4y, divide by 4, divide both sides by 4, and you can see you get 3 over 4x minus 3 equals y, which is in the form of y equals mx plus c, but written the other way round. So that should be quite straightforward for you. That's probably, grade 5 to 6. Right, so this is the same skill, but obviously you just find the gradients of both and you multiply them together. If it equals minus 1, then it's perpendicular. Question 5, you're very good at this, so you should be fine with doing that. And then part B is just rearranging this to this form. So what you would do here is times both sides by 2 to get 2y equals minus x plus 8. They want the c on its own, so you could just plus the x on both sides to get 2y plus x equals 8. So just be aware of that. That can come up, and that does confuse people, but it's straightforward if you can see what it means. That a just means that a is a number, b is a number, and c is a number. Question 6, find the coordinates of the points where crosses the x-axis. So remember, when a line, if you forget, crosses the x-axis, what is that? The y coordinate equals 0. So substitute 0 in here, then solve. So you'll get 2x equals 6 when y equals 0. So x equals 3, and you know y equals 0. And when it crosses the y-axis, a line crosses the y-axis here, then you know x equals 0. So let x equal 0. So then you get minus 3y equals 6. So you would know that y equals -2 once you solve that. And that's how you do that one. That's quite an important skill to have. Right, now this is where we're hitting grade 7 to 8 questions. So this question 7 is, I would say, grade 7. Question 8 is probably grade 8, and question 9 is probably 8+. So pause the video, give those a go, and then I'm going to talk you through them. Right, so here, if you got these right, excellent, you're getting really good. Now these are further maths type questions because they're generally a bit worded, but excellent skills just to be able to do this, because it shows you can really apply the skills you've learnt. So to determine the equation of line L, well, you know it's perpendicular, and then you know that crosses the x-axis here. So when x, so you need to find what out what x equals, but y you know equals 0. So you let y equal 0 here, you'll get 0 equals -2x plus 4. So plus 2x on both sides, get 2x equals 4. So you know x equals 2. So that coordinate is 2, 0. Once you can work that out, the rest of the question is easy. You know it's -2x, so m1 equals -2. So m2 has to equal a half to make m1 times m2 equals -1, because it's perpendicular because of that right angle there. That's your big clue. Yeah, I'd argue that's a grade 8 question actually. And so the equation of line L, well, you know you're going to get y equals a half x plus c. You know 2 0 lies on that line, so substitute that in. So y, which is 0, right? So you just write 0 equals a half times 2 is 1 plus c. So -1 minus 1, c equals -1, and then you've done that answer quite easily done. 7 plus 8. Right, you should be pretty good at this. They've just done this a funny way, but what you would do is find the gradient. So I'm doing 13 minus 7, which is 6 over 2. So m equals 3, that's m1. So we know m2 equals -1/3. By doing this using an A-level method, you will learn that when you get taught further maths fully. And so all you do is y equals -1/3 x plus c. Substitute any of those two coordinates in. I'll probably use this one. So 7 equals -1 plus c plus 1 plus 1, and you can see c equals 8 here. Oh, made a mistake. It's a line passing through B. So you have to substitute this one in, not that. So you can't use that because it's going through B, not A. So you'll get 13 equals -5 over 3 x, not x, but -5 over 3 plus c. Plus 5 over 3 on both sides, so that makes that 14 2/3 equals c. And all they've done is multiply it out. I'm going to run out of space here, so you've got y equals -1/3 x plus 14 2/3. They just multiplied it everything out by 3 and rearranged to get this. So to get that, and you should be able to do that. So this one, you just find the equation of the line of AC, and then you should be very good at that stat. So you know m1 equals -1/3. That gives you the perpendicular clue. So m2 equals 3. So y equals 3x because the intercept here is 0, goes through the origin. They use this word, so you need to know what the origin is. And so they intersect when they are equal. So you'll just need to solve that. Doesn't matter which way you solve it. And once you get x, what does x equal? Then you substitute that in to find y and use any of the equations. Now to find the coordinate of b, well, because you've got that coordinate now for when they intersect, all you're essentially doing, this is at least grade 8, because you've got to apply this skill here, because it's a kite, and this is your properties of shapes applying. So actually I'll put close to grade 9 this question. It's a sideways kite, but this distance here and that distance there has got to be the same because it's symmetrical. So essentially if that's going across 1.2 here and it's going up 3.6 because that's the coordinate 1.2, 3.6, it's going to be doing the same there. So that's going up 3.6, going across 1.2, and that's how you get that answer 2.4.